On behalf of Swish Appeal, I'm talking to Jerzy Robinson, the #1 recruit in the country, class of 2026. Yay. Awesome, thank you for doing this. We're talking sometime after you won MVP at FIBA U17 Basketball World Cup 2024. Is it the biggest achievement of your career so far, or was it just a nice addition to winning the tournament?
I would say it's the biggest achievement in my career so far, other than the gold medal. So I think that was a really big thing for me personally to go out there and win it for the second time. So that was definitely one of my biggest achievements so far.
Yeah, and having tested yourself against the best women's players in the country, how confident are you in the future of the sport? Because you are the future of the discipline, right? But other people too. So having confronted your abilities with them, do you think that the future of women's basketball is bright?
I think it's very bright, with Caitlin Clark injuries, all those guys painting the way ahead right now, and then us following their footsteps. I think we just got to keep working, and the future of the game is super bright.
Super. And any names worth paying attention to? Any players that you confronted yourself with during the tournament or you played against and who you think we as sports journalists should pay closer attention to? Apart from yourself.
I think all of my teammates on USA bring something very special to the game that is unique from anybody else, which is why they all made the roster. And Canada has some good players. They definitely had a few good girls that really challenged us, as well as France. So there's a lot of talent all over the world and the country.
Awesome. And what players are you yourself looking up to and borrowing from when you're playing? Are those NBA players or WNBA players or both?
I would say it's both. Right now, I like Arike. She gets her shot off really well off the dribble and things like that. So I really like watching her play, as well as Jalen Brunson. He has developed his two-foot game very well. And so for me as a player, I think the next level is going to the 2-foot game, pump fakes and footwork. So definitely building off him. I like Anthony Edwards, face-up game, things like that, as well as A'ja Wilson. She's developed that. So really just taking from people all over and trying to put it into my pot to just better myself.
Okay. And do you watch also other basketball? I mean, only WNBA or only WNBA and NBA, or like European basketball? Because you remind me of a certain American player who plays in Europe. Her name is Sam Logic. I don't know if you're familiar with her. She plays in Luxembourg. So she's a 1 or a 2, but she actually plays like a 4, closer to the basket. So I just saw some similarities between. So you don't know her?
I don't know her, but I do watch, WNBA, NBA. The most that I'm going to see European is the Olympics right now. So I think that's really just FIBA, just being able to see other countries is really, really good for my game as well.
Okay. And you've been lifting weights since you were 9, as the legend goes, right?
Yes.
So what's your favorite muscle group to exercise on? And what's your favorite exercise? Do you have a favorite exercise?
Yes, I do. I would say quads. I would say quads and hamstrings for my legs. I love the leg press. Leg press is my machine. But for upper body, I like biceps. So just a curl, a classic curl is what I really like.
Okay, yeah. I mean, everybody loves, right? Working out in the biceps. Yeah, cool. And because originally you were like I read that you were skeptical to working out, or maybe not skeptical, but you didn't enjoy it all that much. But you were able to learn once you saw how it just helped you develop as a player, right? So when did you start to notice the advantages of working out?
So, like you said, as a little kid, I didn't really understand the advantages of it. My dad had me in the weight room, was like, "Oh man, Dad!" But over time, I would say, so I started at about 9. So started 11, 12 when I started to see like my body change. I think that's when I really realized, especially playing with the boys, that I had a stronger base and foundation, which has really kind of set me apart and give me an advantage. So I would say around 12 is when I really started to see it. And then 13, 14, 15 is where I just started to build.
Okay. And what's your workout routine now? So how often do you go to the gym and what do you work on?
So it depends on the season. If we're in basketball season, I'll my dad will like lighten up a little bit because you don't want to fatigue your body too much. So we try to get in 2, 3 times a week on the weights. But off season, depending on if we're trying to build stronger or just maintain, we'll go every other day. So that depends. Sometimes it's heavyweight, sometimes it's just lightweight, not to make sure that I'm maintaining it. It just depends on the season though.
Okay. And before you started playing basketball, or maybe like somewhere when you started playing basketball, there was soccer, volleyball, flag football, running track, right? So which one was first and which one did you enjoy the most?
I want to say running track was first. No, maybe soccer. I did a lot. I did a lot. So
Yeah.
it might have been soccer first. Then I did track for like 8 years, and track was a love-hate relationship. I loved it. I hated it. I running, just not running. It was a love-hate relationship. I did love soccer. I was pretty good at soccer. I played flag football for a little bit. My parents were out of town. It's a funny story. My parents were out of town, and I was with my auntie, and my cousins were playing on a flag football team. So I wanted to play. So my auntie texted my parents, and she was like, "Can she play?" And my mom was like, "You're in control. That's your decision." So I did play quarterback for a couple weekends. That was fun. I did volleyball. I dipped and dabbled in that. To when I was older, I would say about 10, 11. And then I started playing basketball at around 7, and my parents didn't know if I really wanted to do it, da da da. But I played my first game and I had 20. So my dad, my mom was like, okay, maybe this is just a sport. I played girls 4th, 5th, 6th grade. Then I went back to boys 7th, 8th grade, and then ninth high school. I went back to the girls. So I really just fell in love with the game of basketball, and that's really taken precedent. I had to let go of track, which I wasn't too mad at, but now basketball has my whole heart. So that's my story with sports.
Yeah, it's interesting that you say that about flag football because I would think that your dad, being a former football player, he would
Mhm.
want you to play football, but he actually wasn't like that, right?
No, he wanted to
Okay.
protect me, remain
Oh,
yeah, off the field.
okay. And one of the people who got involved in your career and mentored you or continues to mentor you is Russell Westbrook, right? So how did he approach you? And what did you guys initially talk about?
So I initially met Russell Westbrook through Team Why Not, which is his sponsored EYBL team. So we had a tournament in Arizona, which is my hometown, and he was there. He actually showed up. I met him. He was like, "I'm going to coach you guys today." So we played against the Cal Sparks. Great game. It went all over social media and everything. We were it was a close game. We were in the midst of the game, and he was just telling me how to attack off of the screen because they were kind of jumping, they were kind of drilling me off the screen, blitzing the screen. So he was telling me how to hold one player off and then make reads off of it. And it was just a different level of the game that he was teaching me. We still have a very tight relationship. I went to the Clippers game the other day. He came over and said hi because he was injured at the time. So it's just been a blessing to have a pro like that and a legend, a Hall of Famer to be able to influence my game like that.
And what advice did he give you when it comes to, was it like career advice or just how you should move on the court?
So obviously that advice is in the middle of the game, but always just to keep working, having that work ethic and consistency is really important as a player, maybe more important than anything else because there's internal motivation, external motivation that comes and goes. So just staying in the lab and continuing to work on your craft.
And you began your high school career, as you said, in Arizona, right? And you also
Yes.
grew up in Arizona as well, but you moved to Sierra Canyon, California. So, how was the transition like when it comes to everyday life, just moving from Arizona to California?
It's been amazing, honestly. It's one of the best things, one of the best decisions ever. A big difference I want to say is the school size. So I went from a 3,000 kid school, high school, to 600 kids, including 7th and 8th. I want to say that's really the biggest difference. But still, I'm working out, hitting my weights. Everything is. everything is pretty much the same routine. It's just the little things have changed. Um, I think school has definitely been harder for me. At my old school, we didn't have much homework, but as you're Kenyan, that academics are really important. So they definitely have stepped that game up for me. Other than that, like I can go to the beach every now and then. So that's one of my favorite things to do. But I really love it. I think it's been a great decision overall.
Okay, so what were your expectations when it comes to moving to LA? And has the city met them as well? Like I'm talking about the city and the everyday life, not the school.
Yeah. I think personally, my expectations have been exceeded. Like I've always wanted to live in California, and like Hollywood, the big lights, the bright lights. You got USC, UCLA, everything there. I've been able to go to the city, like experience things like that. I've been to a couple movie premieres, so it's been amazing. I think it's really just blessings from the man above, and I'm really excited for the future years here.
Okay, and I've read that you left Arizona partially because the state doesn't allow high school athletes to monetize their name, image, and likeness, right? Is that true?
Yes.
Okay, and so I mean, you're a teenager, right? Where from do you get that business acumen that you will be able to already profit from your name and like establish your legacy business wise?
I would definitely credit it to my parents. As a kid, it's really just the game, work on your game. And so with NIL becoming a factor, that was something that my parents had looked to. My mom, who's a business junkie, and then my dad, who's been in college and now understands what it's like to be able to build off your NIL when that wasn't a thing back then. I think that they definitely planted that for me. And so it's really just kind of just flourished since I've been able to move to California and take advantage of it.
Okay, and how does an average day in Jerzy Robinson's life looks like?
Well, it depends if we're talking about summer or school, but
Okay, let's think about school maybe. Let's leave like pleasant things for later, right? For the
uh-huh.
next question. So
Yeah.
yeah, on a school
So
day.
I wake up about 7 a.m. because my school starts at 8:30. I get to sleep in a little bit, which is different from my last school because I live like 10, 15 minutes down the road. So I wake up, get ready, go to school 8:30 to about 3, 8:30 to 2:55. I have class.
Okay, so you avoid the famous or infamous California traffic, right? You're not dealing with that.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
not too bad here in the valley. When you try to go back in and out of LA though, that's when you hit the traffic.
Okay.
But
Okay. Sorry
yeah,
for
so school
interrupting.
day,
Yeah.
no worries, no worries. During school I have a basketball class, so sometimes we watch film, sometimes we practice, meetings with the coach, things like that. After school we'll usually have practice. We'll have a good 2-hour practice. And then I'll go lift weights. I'll go lift. I have a gym downstairs. And then I'll eat dinner, hang out with the family, and do it all over again. So that's really what a day for me looks like.
Okay. And well, and in the summer, how does your summer look like in comparison? A day in the summer. Yeah.
Okay, a summer day, wake up when I want. I wake up when I want. So, but I'm not a person that sleeps in. I probably 9:30, 9:45 max, I'll be up. So I wake up, lay in my bed for a little bit. I like to work out earlier in the day, earlier in the morning to just get it out the way. So I work out, I'll go get some shots up and then I'll lift. And then after that, I'll go to the beach, movies, hang out with friends, anything like that. So that's really what my day looks like. Come home, eat dinner, hang out with the family, things like that.
Okay.
It's really work out and then have fun.
Okay. And do you have breakfast before you work out, or do you prefer to have it afterwards? Because there are like two types of people, right? There are people who don't eat like hours before games.
Hmm.
And so what sort of person are you?
It depends.
Okay.
Because sometimes, well, personally, I really don't eat breakfast like that. But if my mom or dad decide to gourmet it up in the morning, I will eat breakfast. Um, Me being a person that doesn't like to eat, my parents always tell me you gotta eat something before the games. Car can't go without enough fuel. So I definitely do. Even if it's just a banana and an orange, like just always filling myself before the game.
Okay. And um, your school day seems kind of hectic, right? I mean, there's a lot of going on. So now you have time to make up for it, right? As you said, going to the beach, watching movies, whatever. And during like school days or during the school year, do you still have time to be a kid and just enjoy other stuff too?
So I feel like being a kid is relative. Being a kid is what
Okay.
you make it. I'm a kid at heart, so in any situation, whether it's practice, whether it's during the school day in the classroom with my friends, I'm gonna make time to be a kid or have fun and do things like that. But I'm able to balance it. You know, if I go 4 hard days in the weight room and I haven't had a break, oh, okay, go to the beach, watch the sunset with the family, maybe go to the movies on the weekends and things like that. So it's really about what you make it. I find time to be a kid all the time. I am a kid, so that's not really something that I have to find time for.
And what are your interests apart from basketball?
I'm working on my cooking game. I like to cook a little bit. My dad is like
Okay.
Chef Boyardee, quote unquote. I like to cook. Traveling. I really like traveling. I think like even I went to Paris, like the Olympics, like it's just a whole nother culture that you don't get to experience, whether it's food, the people, places, history, and things like that. I would say I like the beach. I like swimming. That's definitely a thing. Video games. I finally got a PlayStation, so I've been on my video games, 2K,
Okay.
NCAA,
Okay.
Fortnite, things like that. So I like to mix it up though. I'm always open for new things.
Okay, and just to finish off, uh, when it comes to your cooking game, what's your dish, like the dish that you're the most proud of, that you're able to make?
I mean, I got a wide range. I can get like we can no, but it's gonna be pasta, some type of pasta, whatever you want. I can give you the chicken pesto, spaghetti, chicken Alfredo,
Okay.
anything you want. Definitely pasta though. Get your good carbs
Okay.
maybe before a game.
Okay. Okay. Cool. Okay. So thank you for finding the time in your schedule to talk, and I wish you all the best in your career and future endeavors. So thank you
Thank you
for
so
finding the
much.
time.
Thank you for having
Thank
me.
you.
It's an honor.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So,